I live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania right now. I'm originally from Denver, Colorado, where all of my family lives. And I'm the executive director of GALAEI in Philadelphia, which is a social justice organization for queer Latinos here in Philadelphia. I think the thing that has been helpful for me, in being queer, is that it's such a fuzzy label that it doesn't mean anything other than what that person sees for themselves. And for me personally, there's like a fluidity to that. And that's what I feel is happening with a lot of the youth now. They're not really as hung up, I feel, as even I used to be back in the day around, this means that, or if I'm doing this, it means I have to be called this now. And there's a lot more fluidity in that kids are less linear in their thinking around, I'm dating a boy, therefore I must be straight, or, I'm having sexual feelings about another girl, like, does this mean I'm a lesbian? I don't hear that as much. And a lot of the youth that we work with identify as queer, regardless of who they're having sex with. And my story definitely did not follow the pattern that you see in academia, where it's like, this is the coming out process, step one, that is not the process. That wasn't my process, and that's not the process for a lot of the queer youth that we see. It's not linear. Sometimes it's messy, sometimes it's beautiful, sometimes it's open, sometimes it's a process internally that people go through. When I came out and I was talking about having a girlfriend, my former partner, I remember feeling really disappointed in my family and my parents in particular, because I felt like they weren't really validating my relationship. And I remember telling my brother, they don't take my relationship seriously, even though I've been in this long-term committed monogamous relationship with this woman, and they're just not understanding, that it's not just a friend, or and my brother said, you have to give us time, you've been dealing with this for years, this is new to us, and give us time to kind of catch up to where you're at. And when he said that, I was like, oh yes, of course, so there's a little bit of compassion that I have for my family, or for other people who aren't where I hope that they would be. And as I've gotten older, I also am less concerned by that. My life isn't for you to accept, my life is for me to accept and embrace who I am and love who I am and celebrate who I am. But what you do, that's on you, that's also coming from a place of privilege, where I'm not getting beat up for the way I look or the person that I'm holding hands with, I know that not everybody has that luxury. I tell myself this all the time still to this day, which is you are enough, so growing up, struggling with cultural identity, having confusion about my ethnicity growing up, I was really dead set on, I'm Mexican American, I am Chicana, I'm from Colorado, I was all about it. And then, getting older and having white people say that I was a beaner, and having brown people say that I was whitewashed, and then coming into my sexuality, and people saying I didn't know you were that, as if that looks a certain sort of way, and so not feeling like I was being read the way that I want it to be read as queer, so I would tell myself what I tell myself to this day when I get insecure, when I get into this dark space, which is that you are enough, and that people are going to look at you and have all kinds of assumptions about where you come from, or what you're about, what you're not about. And I have to be okay at my core with who I am, with what I do, with my goals, with my fears, my insecurities, the whole package. Ironically, I'm about to be 41. And so I feel like it's taken me this whole time to get to this place where I feel like a grown-up. So I felt like it was time that I do what I always am encouraging other people to do, and tell their story, tell their truth. And maybe it would encourage somebody to tell their story. Maybe it would help somebody who is grappling with, I don't exactly know what I am, and is that okay? Or maybe it would help somebody, with you don't have to call yourself anything, you can just be, and that's okay too. Then that would be happy for me. I'd feel happy with